Bird of Prey 5. El Karuga. Kapla.
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird o' Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird o' Prey 5, Kapla, and welcome to Bed Life for Friday, February 24th, 2023, TBIF. Thank Bird, it's Friday. Yes. Oh, and what a week it's been. The second episode of Star Trek Picard dropped, and hey, if there's one thing it's doing, it is inviting conversation and debate amongst Trek fans who loves it, who hates it, who just thinks it's meh. As Deej is the first person I heard describe the show as Deej as meh, and I believe he had the same reaction to the second episode. I had high hopes. I mean, with Robert Meyer Burnett and Dave Cullen and Nerd Roddick and so many other big YouTubers who were granted early access, saw at least 6 episodes. Some of them saw all 10. And almost universally, they all said this was it. This was what we should have been getting. Except for Doomcock, who hadn't seen it in advance and said this is just going to be more of the same old crap. It might be better crap, but it's still going to be crap. And I was like, there's that Doomcock, always saying the same old thing. Although I knew he said good things about good stuff in the past, but it was like, I wonder, poor Doomcock is going to be all alone in a couple of weeks when Good Trek comes out again. And then I saw the first episode, and I thought, oh my God, this just looks like more of the same. Like, what the hell happened? I'm like, well, obviously, we're going to need another episode to really get engaged. And then I saw the second episode, and frankly, it was worse than the first. And now I'm kind of realizing Maybe Mr. Lundell was right all along. He knew. He knew. He told us. He said, "What are you doing? Why are you wasting your time?" I don't know. I don't know. I told everybody I have to watch it. I will continue to watch it. But yeah, not as. Oh yes, Mama Pray, please interrupt.
Like Mama Pray, Mr. Lundell is always right.
That is true. Mama Pray also did not have high hopes.
Oh, no, but I mean in everything.
Oh, in everything. Excuse me, in everything. Mr. Lundell's always right too. Okay, well, high praise for Mr. Lundell from Mama Pray today. John Araki, thank you so much for that super chat. I saw it come across. Really appreciated. I was just in the middle of the intro there. LDG says, Bird, you just pissed off Yvette. How'd I do that? I'm sure I'll find out. Oh, Yvette also doesn't, right, excuse me, Yvette also did not watch Picard and was saying not to watch Picard. So Yvette and Mr. Lundell both gave that advice. My apologies, Yvette. Yes, it wasn't only Mr. Lundell. Richie Poole was first in the chat with 1 Vok. Welcome, Richie. And Richie puts in a Sisso Pray, Mamo Pray, Nephew O Pray, and the sassy emojis. Thank you, Richie Poole. Says Kapla. Jedi Bill says Kapla, Brother Warrior, Birdo Pray 5, and Hail Karoga, Hail Karoga. And thank you, Jedi Bill. Jedi Bill, guys, if you haven't checked out Jedi Bill channel, please do. I mean, he is gaining subscribers. I wouldn't be surprised if he has surpassed me. I haven't checked in a week or two, but he was gaining subs very quickly. He will pass me this year, probably next month, if he hasn't already. Low Specs Linux Laptop is in the house. Kapla, Low Specs Linux Laptop. Not Ryan Johnson says hello in Kapla. Hail Karoga. Hail Karoga. And John Araki with a number of alpaca emojis. Or are they llamas? We can't tell. They're too similar. John Araki says hashtag Kronos was right. And Richie Poole with hashtag ban Kronos. John Araki says hashtag block Kronos on Twitter. Richie Poole says hashtag exile Kronos to Mars. I don't know about that. Although, if you have been following me on Twitter today, the channel Egotastic Fun Time, JP, not to be confused with PJ from Orville Nation, JP at Egotastic Fun Time, which is also a primarily the Orville channel. But if you know Egotastic Fun Time, he's a very fun guy. He's a very positive channel, like PJ. JP is also a very positive person. You know, the toxicity level on his channel is like a 0, where mine's a 9 out of 10. Easy. JP is like a 0 to a 1. And for some reason, YouTube decided to demonetize his channel. Now they didn't ban him. They didn't suspend him. They just decided to take away all of his money. They're like, yeah, you can still put up videos, but we're not going to pay you anymore. And we're not going to let you get super chats. And unfortunately for JP, you know, that was basically how he made his livelihood. He has bigger subscriber base than my own. He's, I think, well above 10,000 subscribers, and he could, you know, just about make some money to pay, you know, his rent. And he's newly married, and that was what he did for a living. He was doing YouTube, and then YouTube just decided, no, we're going to keep our money. We're not going to give you any. He had members, monthly members who paid money already, and they decided, no, you're not going to get the money they paid. No, we're going to keep it. They call it paused. They've paused it for him, and he can even appeal it. According to him, he says, and I trust him, I believe him. He says the appeal option isn't even available until next month. For some reason, he's got to wait 30 days to even file an appeal. And in the meantime, he has no, you know, he's not going to be getting his monthly memberships. If you were a member of his channel, YouTube tells you it's paused. He streamed today. He's allowed to stream, but he has no more super chat features. He's basically become a demonetized channel. And I sent out some tweets on my Twitter, you know, to Team YouTube and whatnot, asking for their help. And if anybody follows me on Twitter, please like, or if not, retweet those tweets and help. You know, I love obviously I love the Orville, but Egotastic Fun Time, one of my favorite channels, and JP is a perfectly pleasant guy, and I feel very bad for him. So he's not big enough. He's not 100,000 plus channel yet that he gets somebody to talk to at YouTube. So he could use whatever help you guys could use. You don't need to send, I mean, if you want to send him money, by all means, but this is more if you have any contacts at YouTube, or just you could retweet his tweet or retweet my tweet or like the tweets just to get YouTube's attention. That would be a big help. And Hemorrhoids Hurts with a $2.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Hemorrhoids Hurts. Says, thank goodness for your Picard Season 3 review, my friend. You are so welcome, Hemorrhoids Hurts. It's like Star Trek Discovery all over again, where like I'm looking and I'm taken aback that more people don't agree with me. But listen, that's fine. Not everybody has to agree with me, but it's nice to know that at least some people do. Mama Pray, were you about to ask a question?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were about
I was.
to say something. No problem. Moxley fans is Bird of Prey, Kapla Bird. Hope you and the family are doing well today. Thank you, Moxley. Knocking wood, doing okay. I was so tired yesterday. I took 2 naps and then I slept pretty much all through the night. But right now I'm doing okay. The watching Star Trek Picard at 3:30 in the morning, it takes some adjusting to the schedule. Mr. Londell's groovy movie says Kapla, Mr. Londell. John Araki says Picard edition of Clue is easy. It was Captain Worf in the drug den with the Kurleth. Is that what the new weapon is called? The Kurleth is probably is. Not a Mechleth. It's a 25% different Mechleth. John DeMarco says, greetings all. Greetings, John DeMarco. John DeMarco put out the video I wanted to put out this morning. The scene from House of Quark, Deep Space Nine, where Quark lays down his weapon to let the Klingon kill him, and Quark says, be sure when you tell your story, you talk about how you killed the unarmed Ferengi half your size, in glorious battle. And then Gowron stops him from killing Quark and says, Quark, and it says to the Klingon, if you were going to do this, then what they say about you is true. You have no honor. And they throw him out of the Great Hall. And then here in this episode of Star Trek Picard, Worf kills, and I'm sorry, maybe he had a knife in his hand, but if he had a knife in his hand, it was the knife that he pulled out of his hand that Rafi stuck into it. So he is injured, possibly with a tiny little knife in his hand, certainly no sword or any weapon that he could really use to fight back. And Worf was in no danger from this guy. And Worf decapitates him. And Deep Space Nine, you kill an unarmed Ferengi, and it's a big, you're being dishonored. And Worf here, he kills a unarmed Ferengi, and not only is he not face any repercussions for doing so, like literally Star Trek fans are cheering Worf. Like, yes, Worf is back. Worf isn't back. That wasn't Worf. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Everybody has one. Some just smell less than others. Dan Ben says, I didn't really like Picard episode 2. I thought it was really long. Meet and greet this episode should have been shorter, and they should have added the chase. I think it's like we're going to get probably one TNG cast member per episode, which is going to be a very boring way of doing things. Dan Ben says, I think we can all guess it's Worf. I think it's pretty clear that's Worf. John Rice is another season that could have been 4 episodes. Very possible. That's what people said about seasons 1 and 2. Dan Ben says, I didn't really like the use of the music at the beginning. Some people love it. Some people hate it. The music, it doesn't really bother me. Dan Ben said, I thought there were some things said in the episode that was supposed to relate back to modern day. Very possible. Certainly the first episode, I think they were like Laris, when she was giving us permission to look at the past, and some other stuff. John Araki is asking, good morning? ? Oh, I don't know, John Araki. It's good. Yes, it's morning on Earth. It's morning on Earth. Good morning is fine. It's not morning here, but I'm sure somewhere on Earth it's morning. John DeMarco says, I think it's the afternoon in the Sol system. Indeed. And Dan Ben is lolling. Dan Ben says, if the baddie ship is the same ship from the poster, it doesn't look quite the same. I believe it is. John Araki says, Starfleet plates looked crisp, like the plate that the captain was eating off of. 47 Yorktown says, good afternoon, young sir. Good afternoon in quotes. I see what you did there, 47. Moxley fans' intro music, YouTube music library, Thor's Hammer. Yes, that is the music, the new intro music. Richie Poole says, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the afternoon here on Earth, at least. Dan Ben says, why didn't they search Jack Crusher before putting him in the brig? Yeah, you would think. You would think that before you put somebody in the brig, you would do a basic search. Or, maybe the scan of the person would show that they had technology on them that, might be used to break out of the brig. It might just be a standard scan. I mean, and while you're at it, maybe scan his DNA and just see, does he happen to be the child of other Starfleet officers or somebody in the Federation, anything like that. Yvette says, good evening, Bird, and everyone. Good evening, Yvette. LDG says, howdy, all. Howdy, LDG. John Araki says, the Vulcan, hello, Bird. New intro music doesn't hit the same. That music is like 3 weeks old, but thank you for the heads up. It was a compromise. The old music I had to pay $16.99 or $16.95 a month to keep, and I just didn't feel like it was worth it. This new music is free. John Araki says, sounds like a cross between Twisted Metal and Doom. Well, I am working on a new intro, and the new intro will probably have yet different music. Pop Culture Curator says, hello, everyone. Hello, Pop Culture Curator. Moxley fan likes the new music personally. Pop Culture Curator says, Kapla Bird, hope you are doing well. Kapla Pop Culture Curator, hope you are doing well. And Moxley fan says, remember to tip your hot waitresses. Well, tip any waitresses. It's not their fault if they're not hot. So if they do a decent job, a good job, you make sure you give them a good tip. Because the tip always counts in Karoga. Dan Ben says, the line of dialogue makes it seem like they transported Beverly and she wasn't in the pod, and then she was in the pod, and then we see she wasn't. Well, I'm sure they transported either her out of the pod or with the pod to sickbay, but then they took her out of the pod and, revived her, but she was still asleep because she was heavily drugged. So I don't have a problem that we didn't see the pod. I do have a problem that when the 3 guys rematerialized on the transporter pad, no one thought to ask, hey, did you guys get the 4th person in the stasis field or whatever, in the stasis pod? You would just double check. Even if you were, even if you were all Starfleet experts and knew it would be Starfleet protocol to beam the stasis pod directly to sickbay, you would certainly double check that happened. And Jack Crusher, who is not a Starfleet expert, would surely have asked, hey, where's my mother? Do you have my mom? So that was don't get me wrong, in the scheme of things, did it ruin the episode? No, lots of other things ruined the episode, if we're going to say it was ruined. But it certainly didn't help that nobody asked. Nobody asked where Beverly was. We the people, Moxley. Yes. I'm sorry if today's intro, if it cut out a little, it sounded like it was. I realized I had a few larger applications open, like DaVinci Resolve. I forgot to close it down before I started the stream, and that can cause some issues with the that can cause some issues with the intro playing for whatever reason. Running out of, I don't think it's running out of RAM, because I've got plenty of RAM, but just, it's weird. Dan Ben says, the line of dialogues, I read that. John Araki says, never shaft your waitress, always give her the tip. Pop Culture Curator says, fantastic Picard review once again. Thank you so much, Pop Culture Curator. Melted Copper, Kapla, says, I was thinking more on the show coming after the reunion. Star Trek Generation next. Dorn is 70, so Alex, Worf's son, will be the new Worf, or Dorn like Leonard Nimoy. Star Trek Generation next. No, I don't think there's any place for Alexander in future Trek. He was never a popular character. Even when they tried to shoo him into Deep Space Nine, he was unfortunately, he was a very entirely forgettable character. He just didn't make any sense in Deep Space Nine. Stop George says, good afternoon, Earth. Absolutely good afternoon to the people of Earth. Not even the people of Earth, the entire fucking solar system, meaning the people on the moon, the people on Mars, if they're still alive, the people in space stations around the moons of Jupiter and the moons of Saturn, in the asteroid belt, in the far reaches of the Oort cloud, the people on Pluto, all those people. Good afternoon. Sci-Fi Nation, Kapla Sci-Fi Nation, says, greetings, Bird O'Prey, Mom O'Prey, Sassy O'Prey, and fellow nerds. All hail, gracious Karoga, and of course, God Emperor, Bird O'Prey 5. Sci-Fi Nation just came from stream for Antiderivative Jill, her 1 year anniversary. She's been on YouTube for a while, but 1 year since her first live stream. So that's what she's calling her anniversary, which is the same thing I really do. My November Thanksgiving-ish live stream was my first live stream. So November 24th, I consider the channel anniversary, even though my channel had been around for 8, 9, or 10 years even before I streamed for the first time. I was never really using it as a YouTube channel. I put out a couple of videos for public consumption, but that live stream was really the turning point. So, Gorilla's Random Thoughts is Kapla Bird. I can now say the snow here is officially balls deep. I saw Gorilla's Random Thoughts been putting up YouTube shorts, and he put out a short either last night or this morning with the snow, and the snow was higher than his porch fence. So yeah, it's like, yeah, that's quite a bit of snow, Gorilla. Good luck with that. Dan Van says, I'm thinking this episode might be better if it was watched at all 10 at once, but it's standalone, not so. Well, you know what? That might be, and people say that to me like an excuse, but that's not an excuse, because the writers knew how it was going to be watched. The writers knew it was going to be watched one episode a week, once a week at a time. It wasn't ever going to be watched all at once until after it was already out. So it was their choice to write a show that needed to be watched all at once. And if that's what they chose to do, then they fucked up. They fucked up.
It doesn't get any better if you watch it all.
Mom will probably say it doesn't get any better if you watch it all at once. Stop George says, better be a huge plot twist of genius level for this crap to turn around. Yeah, that didn't happen in season 1. It didn't happen in season 2. And I can promise you, it's not going to happen in season 2. Melted Copper says 6 to 10 people, and it's unfair to the little guys to edit and visually keep up with these guys. It's not, I don't care that they got to see it. I mean, listen, you know, movies and whatnots, it's, you always give your critics, you always give them early access because you want to get that, you know, you want people to talk about it. You want to get the buzz going. So you've got to draw a line somewhere, and fine, you drew a line at, you know, YouTubers of a certain X number of viewers or whatever, or YouTubers you thought were going to be more polite to you. That's fine. It's just surprising that so many people actually seem to enjoy it who saw it. And it's like, I don't think these people are shills. I honestly don't. So what happened to them? I guess is the question. I mean, were they drugged? Were they replaced by robots? I mean, did somebody hand them a bag of cash? Because if, you know, they all got a bag of cash, I'm certainly not above selling out. So CBS wants to hand me a bag with $100,000 in it. I can be nice to Picard also, but the price has gone up. Yes, well, because the qualities went down, so the price has gone up. I'm not saying that they're being paid. I highly doubt it. It's just very weird. Very weird. So many people change their mind all at once. And I was ready to do so, but I just didn't see what they saw. Stop George says episode 2 was appropriately called Disengaged. Yeah, close enough. Disengage. I don't think it was past tense. Melted Copper says those guys probably have all their stuff edited and set up a year ahead of time. I don't think it's a year, but it's good for them. I mean, I would be doing it too if I had the time. If I had advanced access, I would have edited my stuff better as well, but I don't. So I got to put out something quickly. So you got the ahs and the ums, and I'm sorry about that. I would have cut them out if I had the time. But watch at 2x speed and it should make up for it. John Araki says Dax remains more elusive than the sun setting in New Track. Oh, than the stun setting in New Track. Yes, that's true. LDG says she's happy now. Awesome. Thank you. You're welcome, Yvette. You are welcome. Loxley fans got the umbrella out. Kyle Cullen with the live long and prosper. Live long and prosper, Kyle. Captain Fandom Nerd says hello. Hello, Captain. LDG says mine's an 11. Jedi Bill says thank you, Bird of Prey. I'm at 2,601 subs as of today. Holy crap, I'm at 2,710. And I was at 2,688 a week ago. I only in this last week with Picard starting and my reviews coming back have I started gaining some subs again. The Multi-Gunman says, hey, Bird, how's it going? It's going well. Multi-Gunman, hope you are well. And he says, confirm Birdo Prey 5 is taking money and super chats away from people. I don't see how I'm doing that. Dan Van says, sometimes YouTube is an annoying mess. And also says, a lot of time when Star Trek is free on YouTube, it's region locked. What's up, Mom?
Oh, no, I have something to ask you, but it's about Picard.
Okay.
And so, I mean, it's everyone that's here has seen it or.
Well, we're spoiling it. They
Spoiling.
know that there's spoilers.
Okay. Beside everything else.
Mm-hmm.
In the last couple of minutes, might have even been the last scene.
Right.
The captain, not
Captain Shaw.
right. When he said to Picard, why should we, and Picard said, because he's my son. And you, and like just accepted that he fought everything else from the beginning, but okay, your son will
well put everybody at risk.
Yeah. That
why?
Right.
Why? How is that a good answer? In what military situation would the fact that you're going after the one person you were protecting turns out to be the son of an admiral? So now you're going to put lives on the line that you wouldn't have done before? No, that doesn't seem right to me. That seems like special treatment, which is the exact opposite of what Star Trek was supposed to be about. Not supposed to receive special treatment just because you have a famous father. Your life is worth more because of your sperm came from a father who happened to be more famous than somebody else's father. That's completely inappropriate. Anyway, Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, ask Lore Reloaded to reach out. Yeah, I know Lore Reloaded has had his issues with YouTube before. I would think Egotastic Fun Time has some connections. The Multi-Gun Man said, should I retweet the tweets that were tweeted? I mean, it never hurts to retweet, but if you like the tweets or whatever, I'm sure that's fine. Melted Copper says, CBS and Angry Joe show are always fighting, so he almost has 100% has Machina, second version of all track reviews, OTS great. CBS and the Angry Joe show are always fighting, so he almost 100% has Machina, second version of all track review. It's great. Dan says, I don't like the explosion shot where Jack Crusher jumps. Yeah, that was pretty funny. They used plasma grenades. Well, Riker used plasma grenades, so Beverly should have used the plasma grenade. She could have killed the two guys much quicker than using her pump action rifle. One plasma grenade, easy to kill two baddies. John DeMarco says, I definitely agree with you about Picard Season 3, Bird. Thank you. Dan Ben says, I'm not saying the actor who played the Ferengi was familiar, but his voice reminded me of other Ferengi. Substance D says, Kapla Substance D. Dan Bentz, they don't have an issue with Worf coming in and killing a Ferengi. Well, I think I do. He says Deep Space Nine Klingons did and said things that could be considered a mistake in the script sometimes. Sometimes, yes, but not all the time. And he says, I hear the TNG cast won't fully appear until episode 6. Stan Lee says the intro is so short now that it doesn't really matter. That's when the intros comes, I guess. Dan Bed says I wasn't sure if they were all like referencing COVID when they said about the pandemic. I doubt it. I highly doubt they were saying that, because he says that that it was engineered, that we all know that they engineered it. So that would be a pretty radical position to take about COVID. Antiderivative Jill, there she is, says hello, Antiderivative Jill, and again, happy anniversary to Antiderivative Jill, and hope you have many future anniversaries on YouTube. Pleasant Valley Picker Canada says hi again to Antiderivative Jill. Words and Pictures is Kapla Bird of Prey. Good evening. Good to be here. Good to hear you. Kapla Words and Pictures. Kapla Pleasant Valley Picker Canada. Stan Lee says, yeah, just toss in his iWatch. Oh shit. I've been talking and my mic has been off. God damn it. Thank you, LDG. Thank you, LDG. Wake up, bird. Oh my God. That's been a long time. How long has it been? Oh my God. I am so sorry. I was going through all the chats. Ah, fuck. Oh, motherfucker. let's see.
Captain's log, stardate 7414.1. Our best estimates place us some 4 hours from Earth.
Let's see. And John Araki with a super chat. Thank you so much, John Araki. Let's see. We'll start here. We'll say John Araki says Dax remains more elusive than the stun setting in New Trek. Absolutely. LDG says she's happy now. Yvette says thank you, Bird. You are welcome. Moxley fan with the umbrella. Kyle Cullen with Live Long and Prosper. Live Long and Prosper, Kyle. Captain Fandom Nerd says hello, hello, Captain. LDG says mine's an 11. Jedi Bill says thank you, Bird of Prey. I'm at 2,601 subs as of today. Congratulations, Jedi Bill. I'm at 2,710 as of right before we started. The Multi-Gunman says, hey, Bird, how's it going? And confirm Bird of Prey 5 is taking money and super chats away from people. I'm doing okay, Multi-Gunman. I don't know about how I'm taking super chats away from anyone. Dan Ben says sometimes YouTube is an annoying mess. And a lot of time when Star Trek is free on YouTube, it's region locked. And indeed, the first episode of Picard Season 3, Episode 1, is indeed free on YouTube, but it's from Paramount Plus, so it's region locked to people who can watch Paramount Plus. There may be a free version for international people. I'm not sure. Gorilla's Random Thoughts suggests to ask Lore to reach out to Egotastic Funtime, or at least on Egotastic Funtime's behalf. That's probably something that he wouldn't mind doing. Multi-Gunman says, should I retweet the tweets that were tweeted? Liking them is sufficient. Retweeting them is appreciated. The Melted Copper says, CBS and Angry Joe show are always fighting, so he almost 100% has Machina. Second version of All Track Review is great. I'm not sure I really understand that, but all well, all's good. Dan Ben did not like the explosion where Jack Crusher jumps. That was funny. It was funny seeing him jump for no reason. Those were 3 photon torpedoes, took out the shuttle, and then he decided to jump for dramatic effect. And yes, then Riga used plasma grenades that Beverly absolutely should have used instead. John DeMarco says, I definitely agree with you about Picard Season 3. Thank you. And Dan Ben says, I'm not saying the actor who played the Ferengi was familiar, but his voice reminded me of other Ferengi. And Kapla Substance D. Dan Ben did not have an issue with Worf coming and killing a Ferengi. He said Deep Space Nine Klingons did things that could be considered a mistake in the script sometimes. I'm sure they did, but they weren't Worf. And Dan Ben also says he hears the full cast won't appear together until episode 6. Stanley says the intro is so short now. Does it really matter? I assume you mean the Picard intro, not the channel intro. Dan Ben wasn't sure if they were referencing COVID when they talked about the pandemic. I'm 99% sure they were not. Antiderivative Jill says hello, Kapla again to Antiderivative Jill, and congratulations again on the channel anniversary, and we wish you many, many future anniversaries. Words and Pictures is Kapla Bird of Prey. Good evening, good to be here, good to hear you, good to see you, Words and Pictures. Pleasant Valley Picker, Canada, says Kapla Bird, Kapla, Pleasant Valley Picker. And Stanley, yeah, he was just tossed in with his iWatch, meaning Jack Crusher. Absolutely should have been scanned before putting in, searched even. The entire ship, the entire Titan A staff seems to really suck at their jobs. Carlos A. Smith says Worf was in combat mode. Anyone who had a weapon was a potential opponent. The poor big fellow had the knife in his good hand, but did he have a combat prowess to use it? No one knows except him. Now, to me, a knife you pull out of your hand because somebody stabbed you with it doesn't make you armed. John DeMarco says, but simply scanning his DNA would deprive us of the melodramatic reveal at the end of the episode, feelings. Absolutely. They should have just done that. Stanley says, and there's a regulation that prisoners need to be apprised of the energy level of the force field. Yeah, totally ridiculous. Melted Copper says, in complexity of lots of aliens and the ship through Shaw's dialogue aren't used to action and adventure. So oversight on what seems like frail little white guy is fine. This stuff happens. In the complexity of the lots of aliens and the ship through Shaw's dialogue aren't used to action and adventure. Right, okay. They're just not used to action at all. Pleasant Valley Picker, Canada says writing, weak writing again. Melted Copper says, you see Klingon Borg robots. The Q, you might be fine. Jack Picard, and laugh as you lock onto him. Miss Lundell says, are we ever going to address the 800-pound gorilla in the room, aka the massive amount of works Gates had done on her face? What are you talking about, Miss Lundell? You don't think that she just naturally aged that way? I'm sure in the future, lots of people have work done on their faces. I thought the 800-pound gorilla was, how was she still making eggs at the age she was when she had, when Jack would have been conceived. I mean, I guess they've done something to extend the period of women being fertile. I mean, why would she want to have been fertile? I don't know. I don't know. Her choice, her body, I guess. Stanley says, and did they have their phasers pulled after transport? Exactly. Doesn't the transporter disable weapons? It used to. Although, if you're transporting Starfleet personnel, would you disable their weapons? I don't know. Melted Copper says, Jack Picard escaping is fine. Remember, Epstein killed himself while on suicide watch. Well, we would hope that the Federation, that Starfleet does a little better job in the year 2401 than we do in whatever that was, 2020 or whatever year it was that we possibly killed himself. Carlos says, here's a great question. How far along was Terry with his idea for season 3 before he got the go-ahead and he started to film after Star Trek Picard season 3, so there was no break in production? Yeah, you see, that's the thing. They were telling us that season 2 and season 3 were being shot together. So how could that have been that if they were being filmed together, but Terry didn't become showrunner until after that? Like, how much did he really have to do with season 3? Or was it all just reshoots? I don't know. Dan Ben says he liked the use of the Klingon music. The Traveler, Kapla Traveler, says greetings, birds, salty turds, and nerds. And he puts in all the custom emojis. And I know the Traveler is going to be streaming soon. Kerbal Space Program 2. Some beta release or something came out today, and the Traveler will be streaming that at some point. Pleasant Valley Pickers is cheap fan service using music from the motion picture and First Contact films. The Traveler says, I made it a bit late, but I still made it. Thank you so much, Traveler. Melted Copper says, hated written a present-day Worf's son story on his child version. A lot happens in 50 years. Stanley says, I just assume the Federation has a constant timekeeping system. Yes and no. The Federation, I'm sure, has Federation standard time. But, I mean, in Deep Space Nine, which was a Federation-run station, remember, they were using the Bajoran systems time, because Bajor had a 27-hour day or 26-hour day. So they would use a 26-hour day on the station. So obviously the Federation does not use the exact same time universally across all their installations. And it would make sense not to. So I know Darren, our friend Darren Wagner, was trying to convince me that saying good afternoon, if that's the Sol system, wasn't necessarily that ridiculous, but I'm sorry, it is that ridiculous. If she had said Starfleet time, then I'd say fine. You might have something there. There is obviously a Starfleet time, but it's not called the Sol system time. That doesn't even make sense today. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. This time I double checked. Cinnabon Bunny is in the house. Says hello, listening while driving. Kapla Cinnabon Bunny. You had a great Picard stream yesterday, but you took it down. I'm guessing they got to your stream. Stanley says, like to see how the weekly improve subscriber numbers. Not like they need to make room for more commercials. Well, I tell you, the 24 hours or so that the free episode has been up, they did not get all that many views. That's going to be one of the things we see in a few minutes when I get to it. Stanley says, if anyone only wants to watch this, they sub for just 1 month when it's finished. Anyway, F them. Yeah. Well, every YouTuber with a pulse except Bird of Prey. Moxley fan says, be back in a bit. Take care, Moxley. Pleasant Valley Picker says, continuing arc storylines are only worthwhile with good writers. The first 2 episodes have crawled at a snail's pace. They should have gone episodic. They probably should have. Stanley says, well, Nerdrotic said he did not get it from Paramount, so someone pirated it. Well, I didn't see it anywhere, but obviously, considering the number of people who had access to it, I'm sure they might have kept a copy for themselves to share with their quote-unquote friends. but they surely didn't put it up for everyone to see. Nor should they, because they would probably get arrested if they did, or at least fined. Dan Ben says the first episode found good. Maybe the rest will be better. I disagree, but good luck to you, Dan Ben. Stanley says trust no one. And Picard tells everybody, and then Jack Crusher calls him out on it. Oh man, I got a ways behind in the chat. John DeMarco says maybe the conspiracy bugs are infiltrating some YouTube reviewers. It would explain some things. Maybe we need to ask some YouTubers to show the back of their necks the next time they're on a live stream. Pleasant Valley Picker says they got fooled by a bit of fan service and turn off their brains, perhaps. Dan Ben says the next episode is probably 40 minutes of chasing. Melted Copper says it's like the team hate. All things have shifted and quite open about it. Hakeem says maybe they saw different episodes than what was put out. No, because if they did, they would have said so. Dan Ben says this is like a 10-part story. You might not like every aspect. Dan Ben, I'd be happy if I liked a few aspects. Mr. Lundell's Groovy Movie says, I keep asking them what the difference was when they post the reviews of each episode. So far, no one has answered me. Pleasant Valley Pigger says, saddest thing that producers of The Filth have successfully divided the fan community. Divide and conquer, ? Well, perhaps, or perhaps they just made something that was a little bit better, and a little bit better is enough for a lot of people. Dan Ben says, yes, I found a really good video editing app whereby I needed to cut and sort stuff out with other editing apps in the past would have been glitchy and not cut out properly. Melted Copper says new track went from civil understanding to okay, it might seem average, but sometimes you just have to vaporize people reasoning. It isn't a trait in all people. Dan Ben says you might have a lot of subscribers, but you don't have that numbers on these live videos. No, nobody has those numbers on their live videos. And I don't particularly have a lot of subscribers. I'm a relatively small channel. Stanley says, so Mop would sacrifice Bird of Prey. Possibly. Stanley says, goods of the many outweigh the goods of the one. The Traveler says, Picard has a son. Yes, the Traveler. He does now. John Aragi says, Bird of Prey has a hefty life insurance policy. I do not. I do not. I wish I did. Addy in Stereo, Kapla, old friend, with a $5 super chat. Says, my favorite part was when Picard accidentally fed the alien after midnight, and it multiplied. It literally sent shivers through me. I think you're misremembering, and you're confusing Star Trek with Gremlins.
Could take weeks, sir.
But hey, you got the Mutari Nebula. No, that's something. John Araki says, loose lips sink ships, Beverly. The Traveler says, how much have I missed on Trek? Quite a bit, Traveler, if you're well, 2 episodes of Star Trek Picard. Melted Copper says, I peeked into another live chat, and it looks like the intro of the Brady Bunch didn't have music, and they all started yelling at you. Oh, so they had 9 people on the panel. I mean, I know they weren't yelling at me. Maybe they were yelling at you. Dan Van says, Star Trek not supposed to have swearing. Well, no, that was old Trek. Was not supposed to have swearing. Apparently, new Trek, it's okay. In fact, it seems to be encouraged. That's the problem. Richie Poole says, the Traveler, you haven't missed anything good. Stan Lee says, the Traveler, that's what Beverly said, I guess. I'd asked for a paternity test. Crusher always seemed like a whore. Oh my God. The Traveler says, is Wesley Crusher really Jean-Luc's son? No, Wesley is not Jean-Luc's son. John Araki says, Bird needs a Vigo Ghostbusters 2 style painting commissioned. Virgo the Carpathian. Virgo the Carpathian. The Travelers is Richie Poole. I haven't seen much of New Trek. I'll let Yitza Lemons be my painter. John Araki, hashtag Ferengi Lives Matter. Well, they do. Richie Poole says the Traveler and Crusher made another kid together. The Traveler, Picard, and Crusher made another kid together. John Araki says Traveler story time at your kid's local library. Richie Poole says the Traveler wasn't good enough, so they made a new kid to replace him. And then LDG says, did we lose Bird? Dandelion down was no sound, silence. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. Melted Copper says, I'm curious to see what lore has going on in this world. You'd think with synthetic bands, his brother Data, his world before, would be brother to dying. What's his views on these things? We'll find out, I guess. Positive Candors is Bird got silenced by Amanda Plummer and the Shrike. I was not talking to Mamo Prey. I had forgotten to unmute my microphone. John Araki says maybe YouTube is finally shutting down Birdo Prey 5 for lewd content. I'll be honest, the fact that they demonetized Egotastic Fun Time, I feel like the writing's on the wall. And it's gonna happen sooner or later. Melted Copper says he is gone. Can we figure out where he is? I think he is in America. Yes, I am. I'm in New York. John Araki, hashtag Steel Bird's voice. Melted Copper puts out the police siren. Yitza says there was a small crackle before it went silent, so probably his mic got screwed. And then thank you to John Araki for the super chat and Positive Candor lulz. There I was. John Araki says it's been a long road waiting for Bird to realize he was muted. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says LDG deserves kissing Dax for that super chat. He does. I guess everybody deserves it. Melted Copper says he has risen. Thank Jesus he is alive. Thank you. Yitza Lemon says that was way too far back. Son of a bitch. Oh well. John Araki says for only $1 a day you can feed a starving Turdistani. Words and Pictures, LDJ says she's happy now. I can't let that go twice. The Travelers is welcome to Bird of Prey 5 show where Bird either falls asleep, goes on a rant, or we have mic problems. Miss Londell says that reminds me, since when is Sneed a Ferengi name? Well, what really is a Ferengi name? Quark, Rom, Nog, Moogie. I know Moogie's not her name. Brunt. Sneed is a perfectly fine Ferengi name for me. Dan Ben says, yeah, they said the Picard shuttle was armed. I heard they specifically said the Picard shuttle was unarmed. Dan Ben says the lady even knew about Section 31. Both Rafi and Sneed knew about Section 31. But again, this is 20 plus years after Deep Space Nine ended, and it's plausible that, to me, that Dr. Bashir let the cat out of the bag and made Section 31 public. Because he was idealistic or something, and he thought that he needed to make the Section 31 public so that it couldn't be, it couldn't operate in the shadows and create biological weapons again. I'm just saying it's possible. The Travelers' bird is so far behind in the chat now. Got to slow down for him. Thank you. And Dammit says you can have your eggs frozen. Yes, you can, but Beverly wouldn't freeze their eggs, and then Picard wouldn't have. You can't accidentally get pregnant if you freeze your eggs. And Picard certainly didn't, unknowingly give it a sperm sample that could be used to create a baby. Richie Bools says Beverly had lots of work done, and here I thought her new look was a result of a transporter accident.
I didn't recognize her.
Mama Prey literally didn't recognize her. I had to tell Mama Prey that was Dr. Crusher. She didn't realize who it was. Mr. Trent 100 says Crusher had orchids. Kid hid him away, never told Picard, and named him for her dead husband. What an effing bitch. Miss Lindell says, here's the real kicker. Beverly and Jean-Luc hadn't spoken in 20 plus years. That makes Jack at least 21. Then Wesley should be pushing 50. Maybe. What, Mama Pray?
Can't be at least 21. If she got pregnant.
If she got pregnant the last time, the last was 20 years.
Born for 9 months.
Right, he wouldn't have been born for another 9 months. So he should be like 19.
Right, not 20.
Yeah, he certainly shouldn't be 21. He should be like 19.
Well,
Or very close.
Well, true, not 21.
Yeah, certainly not 21. JP's is in the house. Welcome, JP's. Dan Ben says, I think they lost time and they reset the clock on a starbase. LDG was yelling, wake up. Carlos A. Smith says, added, Terry was working on Star Trek Picard Season 2, left 3 other people in charge. 2 were women to write Season 2. When he worked on the script for Season 3 and assembled his own team, I just remembered this. JP says, Bird of Prey came on. She's a meth tweaking alien. She can't tell difference in time zones. Oh, come on. She's a meth tweaking alien. She can't tell the difference in time zone. I don't think Amanda Plummer is playing an alien. I think she's playing a human or a hologram of a human. The Traveler says, so Beverly and Jean-Luc had a kid in their old age. So Wesley has a half sibling. Yes, Wesley has a half brother. Dan Ben says, in TNG Clues, Data says, sir, should I realign the ship's clock with Starbase for 10's subspace signal to adjust for the time distortion? Picard says to Data, yes. Cinnabon says, no, took it down because it was a terrible stream. Cinnabon, it was a wonderful stream. It wasn't terrible at all. I very much enjoyed that stream. JP says, Bird of Prey or she on the good old-fashioned space weed. Oh, Rafi, yeah. Hakeem says, so far this show is not worth to pirate. Dan Ben liked episode 1. JP's Bird of Prey, lol, the CC on TV. YouTube. The closed captioning on YouTube is absolutely hilarious. Writer Albert Lanier, Kapla writer Albert Lanier, says, oh, that's great. Star Trek 2 footage. Never get tired of that movie. Dandelion Down says, episodes 1 and 2 have cured my apathy. I am now consumed with fury and disgust. Writer Albert Lanier says, new track sounds like New Coke. Lol. Well, New Coke was arguably better because New Coke led to more classic Coke. And then another 30 or 40 years of classic Coke. Imagine if New Trek led to classic Trek. Then we'd really have something. Pleasant Valley Pigger says, we need a better alternative than YouTube. When they start trying to censor channels by demonetizing, they prove they don't believe in free speech. Too corporate. I'm sure YouTube would agree they do not believe in free speech. They are not here to promote free speech. They are a for-profit company. Dan Ben says, always get the autocorrect. I mean to say Picard shuttle was unnamed. The Picard shuttle was named the Savick. We could see it when it blew up. Melted Copper says, he should have been here about 4:20. Man, then we're all synced up. Miss Londell's a Bird of Prey, an organization that has been in the shadows, Section 31, for over 200 years. And now all of a sudden, everybody and their grandmother knows about it. I'm calling bull. I understand it doesn't make sense, but it's certainly plausible that after the events of the Dominion War, and with somebody as ideal and principled as Julian Bashir, that he might have made it public. Admiral Teague, Admiral Teague, also from Andrew Did with Jill's channel, says Jack needs to be about 19. Yeah, 19 to 20 years old. Miss Londell says the line was they hadn't spoken in over 20 years. That's true. Dan Ben says Shag Yards mentioned she could have got pregnant in season 2 of TNG, but that was before the reveal of the dad. That it's also possible she got pregnant in season 2, but then she would have had to like put the baby in stasis or something. Or I don't know, somebody else was raising the kid and she didn't tell anyone. That would make her a terrible mother. Positive Condor says Savick Shuttle's name was like, who cares? Yitz 11 says there are better alternatives. People are just not using them. Dan Ben says about the shuttle, I don't know why it keeps autocorrecting. I meant that it had no weapons. They said so. Right, unarmed shuttle. Unarmed. Richie Poole says, shouldn't Picard and Riker be arrested for stealing a Starfleet shuttlecraft? Yes, they should. Yes, they should. Yitz 11 says everyone knows about Section 31, but no one knew who Picard was in season 1. That's also true. Gorilla says Section 31 was exposed by the Dominion War. I don't know it was exposed by the Dominion War, but it would have been possible it got exposed. And where's the dog? That's right. That's right. Yeah. So where is Picard's dog? His beloved dog. With what? With Laris? Yeah. Well, they didn't show the dog this season. Writer Albert Lanier says JP's Space Weed is that a sequel to Space Seed? And Melted Copper says new track does more smoking than in the 70s when the smoking was pretty common on TV. Yeah, you had Rio smoking all last season, and you're going to have Vatic smoking this season. Who's getting paid? Like, why are there so many smoking characters in Star Trek? Writer Albert Lanier says to Miss Lundell, Section 31 could be a secret society. It may explain why it wasn't known or discussed previously. Didn't we hear the dog barking in episode 1? Asked Richie Poole. I did not hear the dog barking in episode 1. Maybe it did, but if it did, it went right over my head. Or in one ear and out the other. Well, okay. Let's go ahead and look at so this is the YouTube for Picard season 3 premiere. Let's see, it came out one day ago. Let's see, it had 20,000 views. Now Paramount Plus has 718,000 subscribers to their channel. Okay, so 24 hours ago, give or take, 20,000 views, only 885 likes. Now, just for a comparison, I brought up a recent Doomcock video. Okay, now Doomcock, Overlord DVD, he only has 306,000 subscribers. So that is less than half of the 718,000 that Paramount Plus has. Less than half the subscribers. But he's got 7.8 thousand likes and 74,000 views. 74,000 views, almost 8,000 likes, compared to Paramount Plus, who has 20,000 views and less than 1,000 likes. So, by all metrics, Doomcock's video going to an audience of less than half is blowing away this free episode of Picard. I'm just, make of it what you will, but those numbers don't lie. However, if I scroll through the comments of the Picard episode, to be honest, they're almost universally positive. Pretty much everybody is saying that this episode is great. This should have been all the seasons. It was great. I watched the episode, Richard B., with a Texas flag. Says I watched episode 5 times already. Thank you, Terry Matalas, for bringing Star Trek back from the dead. I'm engaged for the first time in years. So enjoying this. Michael says from one day ago, for free. Wow. I'll be watching on Paramount Plus when I find the time to get through season 2 of Picard for the second time. Many things to digest there, and I want to be fresh in my mind when I start season 3. The poor guy. He doesn't know that pretty much nothing in season 2 comes back in season 3. I mean, season 1, yes. Season 2, almost nothing. Anyway, all of the new Star Trek series. Oh my God, Michael, what is wrong with you? All of the new Star Trek series have been amazing. Detailed stories and great character work while being better than movie quality in terms of visuals. I highly recommend all of them. Discovery, Picard, Strange New Worlds, which may be my favorite. And then the animated ones are so good. Lower Decks will make you cry laughing. And Star Trek Prodigy, while for a more young/teen audience, are still great stories with a lot of feeling. And it has Walter from Fringe as the bad guy, parentheses, awesome. Oh my God, Michael. Michael. And William Mitchell responded, just like back in the day when I watched The Next Generation on an independent station. What the hell is wrong with these people? I'm happy for them, but I question, like, maybe they live in a different reality than I do. Richie Poole watched it yesterday, did not give it a like. The Travelers with Vertebrae, honest question. Isn't Picard supposed to be 10 years older than Patrick Stewart is? No, yeah, that's true. Picard in the show is like 90 years old, but Patrick Stewart is like 80 years old. Dan Ben says, yeah, the channel not going to have subscribers from all over the world. If they can't view the content, it's going to have less. Yeah, well, why you wouldn't be subscribed if you can't see the content? Melted Copper says Doomcock is in the field of what Alex Jones reviewed movies. It's 1% about the movie and 99% conspiracy and political nonsense that aren't really there. Well, I agree to disagree. He certainly seems to have the Picard reviews correct so far. Yitza says those seem like genuine people. They do. Resolute says I call bullshit. These are AI comments. Chat GPT, is that you? The Travelers is Bird of Prey. I bet Michael's last name is Crawford. Okay, you win, Traveler, you win. Dandelion Down says those comments are so genuine. Dan would give this comment a dislike. I don't dislike. I'd dislike if it was like from a corporation, but I don't generally dislike. People are free to have their opinion. I don't dislike them for having an opinion. Resolute says that Michael sounds like it was something written by Paramount's promotional department. Todd Jenny, Kapla Todd Jenny, says, I have fiber. Congratulations. I assume you mean fiber optic and not that you just found out about the benefits of a high fiber diet. Captain Maroney says some people are just along for the ride. Writer Albert Lanier says, I think Michael is a Paramount Plus PR plant-based on that tube comment. Pleasant Valley Pigger says some people have no ability to discern the difference between greatness and crap. Those are pod people, says Mr. Londell. Todd Jennings says Michael Jackson, Michael Burnham, Michael Crawford, ... Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Travis says, Bird says I win. Where is my prize? Your prize is you get to keep watching. Great second episode. Bring us the next one. Engage. Wow, fantastic start. Is the Next Generation. I've missed since Nemesis. Thank you for free episode. Sadly, I don't have streaming, but I will definitely buy the DVD when it comes out. Best wishes. You did a fantastic job. Episode 1 and 2 are thumbs up, says Joe Cronin Show. Thomas Mushing says a fantastic episode. Eric Stewart says, I just finished the second episode and it was way better than the first. Just awesome. Yvette Dowie, no relation to our Yvette, says, wow, this Picard season 3 episode is awesome. I agree with the Star Trek fans who stated this should have been the Star Trek storyline. Dylan Davis Torado. That was amazing. And 50 billion hearts. Michael Solomon. This is Star Trek. Let's freaking go. This is so good. Oh my God. Chasen Grishop says, whoa, first watchable piece of Star Trek in a decade. It shouldn't have been that hard to make a fantastic episode like this. Bravo. Now, if the rest of the season doesn't turn into a woke piece of shit like the first 2 seasons were, I may actually have to watch the rest of it. Until then, I'll just wait to see what the critical drinker has to say about future episodes before I invest myself. Okay, you know what? In all truth, the woke level of this season is down. The woke level is down. Maybe that was enough. Maybe it was the fact that the first seasons were like a 9 on the woke Richter scale. And this is like a 4 or 5, maybe even less. Maybe that was the difference. I didn't like the wokeness of the first 2 seasons, but it wasn't the only problem. The fact that the writing was fundamentally bad was the problem. And I've seen woke shows that were otherwise well written. And I wouldn't say that I highly rate them, but I certainly rated them better than Star Trek Discovery. It is possible to enjoy a woke show for me. I don't like it nearly as good as a non-woke show, but it is possible. So I don't know if I'm just different like that or what. Mom O'Bray says she does not. She does not like the woke shows. Wesley Kim says, nice of Paramount to give us season premiere for free. I'll never get tired of more Star Trek. Picard's flute. So much fan service, says Rita, the Polly, and gets 3 thumbs up. Clark Marler, one more. This season of Star Trek Picard so far is the best Star Trek in the last 2 decades. Easy. Second place goes to Strange New Worlds. Paramount put Terry Matalas as executive producer on any spin-off series of Star Trek after Picard. The man understands the heart of great Star Trek. You see, that's the problem. That's the problem I have. They're going to think that Terry is a genius now, and they're going to put him in charge, and we're going to get more seasons like this, and they're going to continue to ruin Trek. And God forbid they let Terry redo Deep Space Nine. Anyway, let's do Wordle. Let's do Wordle. Okay, first person to put out a 5-letter word in all caps. That's the word I'll start with. Do not put in the answer to Wordle. If you already did Wordle, great for you. I don't want to know about it yet. The first person to put in a 5-letter word in all caps, that'll be the word I start with. Jenny says, ew, Gene Roddenberry. Mike Richards is a traveler, although I'm getting a little queasy after these posts. Todd Jenny says, the only wokeness you feel in Bird is when T-Berg messages you at 2 a.m. with jibs. Hate her. Richie Poole got it. Sorry, Todd. Richie Poole got hater first, and now I'm not looking at the chat until I finish. Hater. Okay, so we got an R in the right place and an A. And an A. A in the wrong place. So let's see. PLA. Oh, wait. It's got to end in R. It's got to end in R, but it's not ER. Okay. Polar. POLAR. Okay. We got an O and an A. A is still in the wrong spot, and an O is in the wrong spot. Okay. So it probably starts. No. Let's see. Mailer, Baylor, Kaylor, Baylor, Whaler, Manor, 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 Manor. Okay, we got the O. We got the O. So the A is still in the wrong spot. Oh, shit. We knew the A was in the wrong spot. Okay, so I don't think there are any words that go AOR. And especially with two consonants. So CH or no. So TH, thou, chow. So I'm pretty sure we start with A. A X X O R. Axonar? No, that's too many words. Allure. ALLOR. Allure. AQ, AW, a war. We could be AR, R, core, our core, our war, our your, A sore. A door. A door. That's not a or door. Our door. That's not a word. Is it a word? No, it's not a word. But we got 4 letters. Our door. Okay. Our sore. Our four. Our jor. Our core. Azor. Arcs or a core. Our core. Arbor. 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 Arbor Day. Arbor. We got it. Got it in 5. Okay. Thank you. I assume that's like arbor, right? That's,
Like a
huh?
lean-to.
Like a what?
Like a lean-to made out of sticks.
A lean tube made out of sticks?
You don't know what a lean-to is?
What the? A lean-to?
Lean-to.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I thought you would know that, so I did that.
Arbor.
Yeah.
A shady green alcove, garden alcove with sides and roof, formed by trees climbing plants trained over a wooden framework. Isn't it like Arbor Day? Does arbor mean tree? Okay, I'm sorry, Monica. What are you saying?
Nothing. You got it. You got it.
What are you but what word are you saying? I don't know.
I'm saying lean-to. Lean. Lean.
Lean
dash T-O.
dash T-O.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. And neither has YouTube. Define lean to. It's defining lean.
I think you put the dash in.
Yeah. What does lean to? A lean to, originally defined as a building in which the rafters lean against another building or wall. A penthouse. These structures frequently have skillion roofs and sometimes referred to as skillions. A lean-to shelter is a freestanding structure with only 3 walls and a single pitched roof.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
What does that have to do with arbor?
Kind of similar.
It's kind of similar.
Well, to me it is.
I am very confused.
Because the lean-to could be made out, like if you were in the woods and you needed a shelter.
They've got a picture of something here, if you want to see it. I mean, there's no camera. This is something in the woods. That's
Okay, well, that's with logs. That's a more stationary type of thing. I was talking about something like, what's that one right down on the bottom? No, that's a tent. That one. Yeah, what's that?
It's made out of like wood.
Oh, I was doing like twigs and stuff.
Twigs.
Like branches.
Okay, I've never heard of this.
Oh.
Okay. So that's also an arbor?
Well, I said they were similar. An arbor is more nature.
Okay. Very interesting. So Todd Jenny wanted me to start with pubic. 47 said anger. Melted copper wanted me to start with penis. Cody guy says Birdo. I'm sorry. Birdo is not, I don't think Birdo is a word. Ms. Linda, arise. I use arise a lot. Color, prick, dicks, hot dog. Yeah, you're going to shun the answer, says Todd Jenny. LDG got it in 4. Shaft. It's against your religion. Oops, nope. Treat yourself to a holiday. Branch out a little. Richie pulls his Arbor Day, the Orville. Yitz the Lemons got it in 5. 0, 4, 5, 1. Dan Ban says Harry Mudd, full name Harcourt Fenton Mudd. Did I accidentally switch to Webster's stream? No. I was trying to figure out what Donald Frey meant. Gorilla. Melted Copper says Harry Mudd and Space Ladies is the new series spinoff. I highly doubt that. Melted Copper says, yeah, not sure when the stream shifted to Dollar Store Wheel of Fortune. Yitza says Nicole Arbor is a fairly attractive woman who thinks she's funny. The Traveler says that's a woodshed. I don't care. Melted Copper says lots of ladies think they're funny. Just smile and be polite. Michael Sullivan says Arbor is also a bar, shaft, or axis that holds, turns, or supports a rotating cutting tool or grinding wheel. Todd Jenny says I started with ado and sport always, unless I'm watching you first. And Dan Ben says Webster's Dictionary defines Berto Frey 5 as ... a YouTuber. Todd Jenny says put an Arbor bit in your router to spin up some really woke content. Okay, what do we got here? Chat GPT. Oh, February holidays. For the 24th, for today, it's National Tortilla Chip Day. Yay. Discovery Girl Day. Encourage young girls to pursue their engineering dreams this Discovery Girl Day. This is the worst named holiday, so I'm going to just skip it. Drago Beat. Birds do it, bees do it, and so do the Romanian youth on this particular day. Wow. Edward Dickinson's Baker Day, his history, fun facts, and why he's so important. We're sharing it with you. No, you're not. Estonia Independence Day. It's Flag Day in Mexico. Time to sport some red, white, and green in solidarity with your Mexican compadres today. Friday Fish Friday. Grab your fork and take a bite of your fried fish this Friday Fish Friday. I hate coriander day. If rich dishes filled with coriander give you recurring nightmares, this day is for you. International Stand Up to Bullying Day. That's part of Anti-Bullying Week. Don't bully. Don't bully people. It's National Skip the Straw Day. Well, I'm going to throw out more straws to make up for all the people who are not using them. Oh my God. The one time I dared use a fucking paper straw. I ordered a delicious ice cold Coca-Cola Classic from McDonald's, and they sent this god-awful fucking cardboard straw. And let me try it. All the people, all the latest things, all the plastic straws are ruining the planet. So I put this godforsaken cardboard straw into this delicious ice cold classic Coca-Cola, and I sucked up a mouthful of delicious Coke Classic, and in the 2 seconds or less it took to transverse the 8 inches of straw. It had turned ice cold Coca-Cola into a disgusting mix of paper and cardboard and sugar water, and I had to spit it out. I couldn't even swallow. It was so nasty in my mouth. And worse than that, when I threw this paper straw away and I put a plastic straw in its place, the paper straw flavor had already ruined the rest of the drink. The entire large or medium, whatever, 27-ounce cup of ice cold Coca-Cola completely ruined by sticking a paper straw in it. Never again will I ever use a fucking paper straw. Plastic straws from here on out. I don't care if I have to order them illegally directly from China. And they're made out of asbestos and plastic. I don't care. I'm not using paper straw again. Fuck you all. I'm sorry. If some fish gotta die, then some fish gotta die. It's National Tartar Sauce Day. National Trading Card Day. Hey, Cinnabon. You should be doing a stream for National Trading Card Day. It's the Sweden Finns Day, whatever that is. It's Twin Peaks Day, which I thought was like a reference to something else, but no, it's a reference to the TV show. Twin Peaks is ranked among the greatest TV shows ever made. Find out why here. It's World Bartender Day. Bartenders mix our favorite drinks, keep customers happy, and often come up with delicious new drinks. And some of them make no sense, like Guinan. But we'll call today Guinan's Day. And Yukon Heritage Day, bringing the history and culture of the smallest of Canada's 3 territories to the forefront. 3? I thought you guys had like 7. I guess there's a difference between a territory and whatever the hell you call the other things you guys got. Certainly more than 3. What do we got here? Donuts are yummy. Where you guys got donuts? Now I want donuts. The Brits spill everything funny. I know. It's not Drago Prey Day. Hashtag straw rant, says John DeMarco. What you looking at, Mama Frey? Oh yeah, there's something stuck in our tree. Looks like a big piece of plastic. Yeah. Unfortunately. It's the straws of 1,000 people. They've become stuck together and stuck in our tree. Pleasant Valley Figure says, this is hilarious. My straw rant. The Travelers says, give me plastic straw or give me death. Yeah, I mean, basically, what's the point of living? What's the point of living if I can't use a plastic straw? Well, at least not a cardboard straw. I could live with a metal straw maybe, but I'm not going to paper. Pleasant Valley Figures that the world is going backwards. It sure is. Paper straws are gross. Absolutely they are. You should have demanded a new drink. I could have, but I wasn't at this place. If I was at the McDonald's, well, first of all, if I was at the McDonald's, you can just dump your drink out and get a new one. I mean, it's free refills. But I'm home, so I can't demand a new drink. There's nobody to demand it to. You can't call up DoorDash or Uber Eats and demand anything. They make it very hard to contact them on purpose. It's part of their strategy. Richie Pools' bird of prey spit out his Coca-Cola all over the floor, and poor Bomb Prey had to clean it up. I didn't spit it on the floor. The Traveler says, we live in a clown world with paper straws. 47 Yorktown washes and reuses his plastic straws. We have some big, thick, reusable plastic straws. Johnny DeMarcus says, the plastic straw black market is a big industry in Caroga. Well, we don't have a black market. It's in the open market in Caroga. And Dan Ben says his supermarket sells Krispy Kreme donuts. Value of Nothing says at least he apologized. Sorry, but not sorry. Classic Simpsons had an episode about tartar sauce, says Dan Ben. Melted Copper, when is mailbag day? It's a good question. Pleasant Valley Picker says, and now plastic grocery bags will be banned here within a year. Yeah, they did that here already. Gorilla says, so we switched from plastic straws to wrapped in paper, to paper wrapped in plastic. So much for saving the planet. And Pleasant Valley Picker, Canada says it's 10 provinces, 3 territories. Okay, that makes sense. The Traveler says the planet is screwed. I'm moving to Mars. Isn't Pleasant Valley a TV show also? Probably. Dave G says, I hear Caroga has some nice condos for the henchmen. Words and Pictures says, good night, Bird of Prey. I have to get up early for tomorrow. I wish you and your viewers plastic straws and happiness. Thank you, Words and Pictures. The Traveler says bye. And Words and Pictures is the Traveler. Doff's cap. Mike Richards is in late night McDonald's mystery exploded. Yitza Lemon says, I miss those reusable whirly hard plastic straws from the 80s. Those were what, crazy straws? Is that what they were called? I used to drink with those. Yitza Lemon says, especially the one that took a minute to get your drink. And Dan Ben's nearest McDonald's is 40 minutes away by car. I'm sorry to hear that, Dan Ben. Might be the best thing that ever happened to you. So I was looking through news and Twitter and stuff, and surprising, I did not think I until today I never would have taken Scott Adams, the creator of the Dilbert comic, as being a front on the temporal Cold War, in the culture war. Apparently he is quite, he's not a racist, I don't think, but he's quite surprisingly open to talking about race-based topics. And yeah, he has some pretty out there opinions. And I was surprised to hear him. I'm more surprised that he still has a job and that people are still running the Dilbert comic. I'm actually impressed. Dilbert must be that good. Apparently, about 70 papers, when they found out that he wasn't woke a year or so ago, they canceled Dilbert. But he's still doing apparently just fine. Dilbert's still running. And yeah, and he lives in San Francisco, of all places, I believe. So that's even more weird. But I mean, I'm just reading this, and this is in their entertainment news. Now, granted, it's news. This is not supposed to be an opinion piece. This is supposed to be news. Although entertainment news is the lowest form of news. Well, maybe that in politics. But the starts out with pro-Trump Dilbert creator Scott Adams, who has previously claimed he's a victim of racism in Hollywood and corporate America, went on a racist diatribe this week, labeling black people as a hate group, saying that white people should get the hell away from them. During his Real Coffee with Scott Adams online video program Wednesday, the controversial East Bay cartoonist offered up his latest provocation. He cited a recent poll that he said shows that nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people. If so, Adams said, that's a hate group. Adams cited a Rasmussen survey of 1,000 American adults that dealt with the phrase, it's okay to be white. The Anti-Defamation League, oh shit, I didn't mean to click on that. Where are we? The Anti-Defamation League has deemed the phrase a hate slogan that started as a trolling campaign by members of the controversial forum 4chan. Among other things, the Rasmussen poll found that 72% of the 1,000 American adults surveyed agreed with the statement, and even a majority of black people, 53%, did as well. The poll found that 79% of respondents agreed with the statement, black people can be racist too, including 66% of black people. Adams focused on other data from the poll. He said it revealed that 26% of black respondents said it's not okay to be white, and 21% said they weren't sure. With a degree of amazement, Adams said that's 47% of blacks not willing to say it's okay to be white. That's like a real poll that just happened. Adams said the poll demonstrated that there's no fixing current racial tensions in America, which is why white people should live largely segregated neighborhoods. Based on the current way of thinking going, the best advice I would give white people is to get the hell away from black people, the 65-year-old author exclaimed. Just get the expletive away. Wherever you have to go, just get away, because there's no fixing this. This can't be fixed. Adams said he had already self-segregated by moving to an area with a very low black population. Now understand, this is in San Francisco. It's not clear if he was referring to the Tri-Valley town of Pleasanton, where he was known to be living in 2020. I guess that's a suburb of San Francisco. After Adams said, this is the first political poll that's ever changed my activities, he sarcastically claimed that he's always tried to help the black community because it brings positive social benefits. He says, I've been identifying as black for a while because I like to be on the winning team. He says, and I like to help. I always thought if you help the black community, that's sort of the biggest lever you could find, the biggest benefit. But it turns out that nearly half of that team doesn't think it's okay to be white. Given the poll results, Adam says he's now going to re-identify as white, arguing that he doesn't want to be a member of a hate group, which he claimed he had accidentally joined with his supposed black identification. Adams also said, I'm going to back off from being helpful to black Americans because it doesn't seem like it pays off. The only outcome is I get called a racist. Adams continued by suggesting that black people don't value education as much as other groups, claiming he's sick of seeing video after video of black people beating up on non-white people. He also stated we should be friendly. I'm not saying we should start a war or do anything bad. I'm just saying to get away. Adam continued his comments by laughing, saying, and there we go. You didn't expect that today, did you? Over the years, Adam has appeared to embrace increasing radical positions. The Daily Beast said the first compared former President Donald Trump to Jesus in 2015 and continued to voice his support for the former president through his 2016 campaign and his controversial presidency. On Twitter and his online program, Adams has also flirted with his favorite topics of far-right culture wars, the Daily Beast said. In the wake of the George Floyd protests in 2020, Adams claimed that he was the victim of racism, saying he had lost multiple jobs due to his skin color. I lost my TV show for being white when UPN decided it would focus on African American audience. And just to be clear, the Dilbert TV show was very funny, but it also got canceled around the same time as Enterprise because the UPN channel was deciding to go in a quote-unquote different direction. The Pleasanton resident posted on Twitter on June 28th, that was the third job I lost for being white. The other two in corporate America, they told me directly. Last year, Adams introduced a black character for the first time in his strip's 33-year history, the Daily Beast said. However, it appeared the character only existed to allow Adams to poke fun at woke culture and the LGBTQ community. The character's plotline revolved around his identifying as white, only for management to ask if he could also identify as gay. The last time I remember reading a Dilbert cartoon, he had decided India, the country of India, had done something to outlaw being gay or something, or outlaw gay marriage. They did something that was, pretty much opposite to what the United States had been doing about, gay rights. And so he had recently introduced a character in the Dilbert cartoon. I think he was I was going to say an ensign. No, it's not an ensign. What's that? When you're new to a company, not an apprentice, no, you're not gonna, an intern. You're an intern. An intern. He introduced an intern who was Indian, and I remember he just broke the fourth wall, and he said, "Listen, because India decided to vote against gay rights, I'm going to make this Indian character gay now." so and so is gay now, and then he continued on with his story. So honestly, that was the only time I remember hearing from Scott Adams breaking the fourth wall or putting his opinion into the comic in any way whatsoever. And at the time, it didn't bother me, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I was quite surprised to see that he actually, that he was actually more conservative than I thought originally. I'll be honest, I used to read some Scott Adams books long time ago. Like literally like 30 years ago. He wrote some books, and none of it was about politics, none of it was about race, none of it was about anything like that. It was just about life and work and stuff like that. And I always thought it was pretty good stuff. But I don't imagine he's going to be around much longer. I feel like he's probably going to get canceled. So if you're a Dilbert fan, you better start, I don't know, downloading your favorite Dilbert cartoons, because I have a feeling they'll be going away soon. That was and some crazy stuff. Yeah. Richie Poole says, I encountered my first two-story McDonald's at Marble Arch in Hyde Park in London. We don't do many multi-level McDonald's around here. It was cool. My local McDonald's is actually a two-level McDonald's. The upstairs is the kids' playroom. Gorilla says, this is exactly what's dividing us. Yep. Pleasant Valley Picker says, how the hell can it be okay or not okay being what you are? This poll was designed by lunatics. What a load of bullshit. Exactly. You don't ask. I mean, that's not an option. Is it okay being white? Is it okay being black? Is it okay being gay? That you don't ask that poll. That's not a poll. That's not it doesn't, you don't have an opinion on that. Because guess what? It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. The fact is, there are white people, there are black people, there are gay people, there are ugly people, there are fat people, there are hot, attractive people. They all exist. It doesn't matter whether you want them to or not. They don't need your permission. Exactly. There are smart people, there are stupid people. Nobody needs your permission. Pleasant Valley says the article seems quite biased. Yeah, well, you gotta read around the bias. Hakeem, I actually liked the TV show. I loved the Dilbert TV show. Resolute Serm said, yes, the direction UPN chose was bankruptcy. Gorilla says, we'll have to finish later. Intern, thank you guys, yes. I don't know who the knee pad guy is. The Traveler says, is it okay to be Kurogan where Turd is standing? Well, it's okay to be Kurogan. I can assure you that. Yet says there are no more fat people. They are now enormous people. Yeah, I know. They want to cancel the word fat. Because fat is shaming.
You know.
What, Mama?
That A derogatory.
Mama Pray is saying there are many words that are derogatory
Against.
against short people.
Okay, sayings. Okay.
Sayings.
Right. If you don't.
Okay, if you're gonna talk,
Go ahead.
it's okay.
No, if you don't like something, you look down upon it. I mean, if you admire somebody, you look up to them. Those are against short people. There are many others, but I'm not going to steal your string.
So let's see. 2 million Corsair air fryers sold at Amazon, Target, and other retailers recalled.
Yeah.
Mama probably knew about that.
Fire
hazard. Netflix drops prices of streaming plans in more than 100 countries and territories. Oh, what a surprise.
Probably not.
What a surprise. Let's see. The tale of Cocaine Bear, an apex predator, is the true star. Gizmodo Star Trek Picard Season 3 premiere is streaming on YouTube for free. Yes, you've already done that. There may be a simple reason we haven't found life on Mars. Because we did find life, and we're not telling anybody about it. Microsoft spent 2 decades preparing to pivot Bing, then ChatGPT happened. What's the simple reason we haven't seen life on Mars? Mars rovers tasked with hunting for traces of biology could roll over microscopic life forms without smelling a thing, simply because their instruments aren't up to the task. Oh, wow. Well, that's certainly worthy of an entire article. Anyway, what else? What else we got? Oh, well, I guess we can go to Dear Bob. The Travelers is on my next job application. I'm going to put down I identify as Karogan. Resolute Germ says Dilbert now available on Amazon. Use Bird's affiliate link to order. Oh, thank you. Is the series available on Amazon? It's actually a good item. Dilbert TV series. Dilbert season 1. Dilbert the complete series. 4.7 out of 5 stars. Oh, I would totally suggest getting the physical media. The physical media for $15.98 because it's way too easy to just cancel the Prime Video. $15.99 to buy the season. So there was there's 2 seasons of Dilbert. 113 reviews. $19.99 and 2,000. Yeah. Oh, well. No. If anybody is interested, there is the link. Why won't you give me the link? There we go. There is the affiliate link. Yes. So Dear Bob. Let's go to Dear Bob. We've got 3 Dear Bobs for today. Maybe they're good. Dear Bob, the Traveler, formerly known as Wesley Crusher here. We talked briefly last night about Kerbal Space Program 2's early release today. As a proud Kerogan, I am excited to lead and record Keroga's space endeavors to claim all of space in the name of Keroga. One little problem. What's the name we should use? Here are 2 suggestions. Kerogan Aeronautics and Space Armada, CASA, or Kerogan Space Program, CSP. Perhaps the viewers have a good idea. What do you say, great leader? Hopefully I will be streaming late tonight or early tomorrow. Come watch as I try not to crash Kerbal astronauts into the moon. Mun, M-U-N. Wes out. Thank you so much, Wes. I like CASA, Kerogan Aeronautics and Space Armada. Yeah, I really like that. So CASA sounds good to me. M. Brando says it's a clock tease. I don't know. CASA it is. I'm making an emperor's decision. Give me a second. Let me take my pill. I'm not playing a commercial. All right, it just takes too long. Okay. Dear Bob, I'm too poor to buy a snowblower, and I have to clear 5 to 6 foot snowdrifts out of my driveway. I want to know how to build a flamethrower to clear it. The problem is, a flamethrower is actually really bad at clearing snow. It's not too hard to build, but it's very bad at clearing snow. It takes a tremendous amount of heat and you turn it into water, and then if you don't clear it all the way to the ground, it just refreezes as ice, and it's worse. So I could tell you how to make a flamethrower, but it wouldn't help you. You wouldn't have enough fuel to melt the snow. So just, the Kerogan way is to, quote unquote, hire some quote unquote orphans. So basically child labor. Okay, just duct tape some shovels to some children, and they're basically going to naturally shovel snow. Even if they don't think they're shoveling snow, they're going to shovel snow just by virtue of them trying to get loose and move around. So child labor solves all problems. Dear Bob, how do you find the willpower to record videos? I want to make videos, but I just can't force myself to do the work. Well, here's the thing. I look at the world and I see so much ignorance. And I know in my heart and my brain that I have so much to teach. And that imbalance between the ignorance that exists in the world and the, I don't know what word to use, genius that exists in my brain. I don't want to, I'm a humble man, but so let's just say there's a gradient, like where cold air and hot air, and there's a gradient, and that creates wind and pressure that creates weather. Well, the gradient in intelligence between the world and my head creates a potential that's so strong that it just forces me to come out with videos and basically to teach people the right way of thinking, the right way of doing things, the right way of seeing things. And this is all just a way to share my gifts with the world, my gift of intelligence with the world. And so sometimes it takes the form of funny videos. Sometimes it takes the form of Star Trek reviews. Sometimes it takes the form of singing. It takes different forms, but it's all about equalizing eventually my intelligence with the world's intelligence, and preferably by bringing the world up to my level and not bringing myself down to the world's level. But so that's and if you have that disparaged, if you have that disparaging, that's not a word, is it? See, this is the problem. If you have that if you have that disconnect, no, that's not the word. I was right the first time, but if there's that difference between what you want to say and what the world needs to hear, then you will find the energy to say it. If you already agree with the world and you're okay with what you see, and you don't really feel strongly enough to correct all the people out there, then you might not have the strength to say it, and that's fine. Not everybody, not everybody's going to be a content creator. That's a decision you got to make for yourself. For me, it's an easy decision because I have to share it with the world. So, yeah, it does come with putting some work in. Now, God knows I haven't put in all the work every time. There are some weeks I work a hell of a lot harder than others. And, you don't have to work hard every day, every week, but it certainly makes your life easier when you do. Because every few days that you don't do anything, you start losing subscribers, you start losing viewers, and it makes it much harder to get ahead. So yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get started in YouTube. If you're a guy, if you're a woman and you're even like minorly attractive, you have a nice voice, nice photograph you could put up, oh, you get a hell of a lot more. Much easier to be successful on social media. Okay, if you're a guy, you got to put in a lot more work, but that's fine. That I'm happy with that. That's just the way things are. You can't fix it, and I wouldn't want anybody to try and fix it because it's not broken. It's just science. It's biology. The Traveler says, I think Captain Fandom Nerd came up with a good one. Captain Fandom Nerd says, Karoga Republic Aerospace Home crash. The problem is Karoga is not a republic. I like where you're going. I like what you're going, but and the Traveler, if you want to use it, you feel free to. You're welcome. Well, we can call ourselves a republic if you want. God knows the United States does, even though they're not really a republic anymore. Resolute's is a good one, Captain. Very appropriate. Melted Coppers is just be careful. Mr. Plow nearly killed Hawkeye. Mr. Plow is a loser, and I think he is a boozer. Plow King. Resolute Germ, so all your need is an ego the size of God. Got it. It helps. It helps. Dan Ben says, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. The Travelers is Captain Phantom Nerd. How about Karogan Republic, Aero and Space Homeland Education Department? Crashed. Richie Poole says, what the world needs now is bird, sweet bird. Not Ryan John says, what the world needs now is rants, bird rants. And the Travelers says, bird rants makes YouTube worth watching. Thank you. And John Araki, if you're still out there, the request you asked with Mamo Pray, it's being worked on. And I don't know if it'll be released this weekend, but soon. Okay, guys, let's take a look at our favorite Deep Space Nine episode clip, Rejoined, before we call it an end today. You can actually see the saliva at one point. If you pause it in the right spot, you can see a string of saliva between the lips. It was very impressive. Very impressive. And Antidote of Jill says, everyone has something unique to offer that is worth learning about. Figuring out what that is the difficult part. See, that's a nice, look at that. That's a very nice answer. Okay, guys. Kapla all bird out.